Hello everyone, my name is Aarti and you're watching HW News. Bengaluru, the Silicon Valley of India, is usually in the news for its startup culture and startup ecosystem. However, this week, it was the unprecedented flooding scenes that made it to the news. Intense rain started on Sunday night and it persisted till Monday morning. It led to a deluge in the parts of the city. The flood situation was so bad that IT employees were seen using tractors and JCBs to reach their offices. People were seen wading through knee-deep water. The cars were floating on the water. But it was not only Bengaluru's middle class and the poor that were affected by the flood. Bengaluru's most high-end residential properties and well-known tech parks also were the worst hit by the overflow of the Bellandur and Yemalur lakes in southeast Bengaluru. Few of the videos that went viral were of Divyasree 77th Street, which is also known as the Billionaire Street. Epsilon, which is home to corporate and business elite including Wipro chairman Rishad Premji, Britannia CEO Varun Berry, Big Basket co-founder Abhinay Chaudhary, along with that Page Industries, that is Jockey MD Ashok Jinomal and Byju's co-founder Baiju Ravindran, it has been flooded. A video of Epsilon where plush cars and posh bungalows were submerged in water were doing rounds on the internet. An Academy CEO, Gaurav Munjal, was seen on a tractor in Bengaluru. Munjal then wrote that his family and dog were evacuated from his society. Biotechnology industry veteran Kiran Muzumdar Shah has termed the rain havoc in Bengaluru as devastating. According to a report, the IT and banking firms lost 225 crore rupees in a day due to these floodings. Why did Bengaluru get flooded and what was the reason behind these unprecedented chaos in India's Silicon Valley? To talk about this, we have with us Captain Santhosh Kumar. He is a retired army officer who returned to his native Muttanallur in Anekal Taluk in 2008. He has been working on clearing encroachments on stormwater drains for the past few years. And he has a perfect answer to what is behind Bengaluru's flooding problem. Let us talk to him in the video today. So first of all, welcome to HW News. This week, we saw some very unprecedented scenes in Bengaluru, which is called as the Silicon Valley of India, having housed multinational businesses. We see that Bengaluru is also called a startup capital in India. We have several unicorns housing in Bengaluru, and several billionaires especially are living in Bengaluru now. But we saw very unprecedented scenes this week where we saw the roads were flooded and people were taking JCBs and tractors to travel to their workplaces. The roads were flooded, especially the road where billionaires live was also completely flooded, and they also had to travel through tractor, and several of them got on Twitter and actually complained about it, how bad the infrastructure of the city was. But if you see, it floods in Bengaluru almost every year. What exactly is the cause behind this flooding? This year, however, it was unprecedented. So what do you think is the reason behind this?
Thank you for giving me an opportunity to share my views with you. Now, first of all, we need to understand what actually has happened in Bangalore. Is this whole Bangalore got impacted, or this particular area got impacted? That is the root cause. What we need to. Everyone says, and the way it has been projected in front of the international media and the national media, it sounds like as if whole Bangalore got submerged. And none of the people has got an opportunity even to move out from their homes. That's what it's got projected. So whatever, because end of the day, it is something which is unwarranted and something which is unprepared for. I must say that is unprepared for. You people are not prepared for this sort of situations. Since you live in the Mumbai, you have seen how the Mumbai manages this sort of situations. Same way how Chennai manages these situations. Now, in the line now, Hyderabad has joined us. And a similar way, I've seen the situations which came in front of us in Ahmedabad, Surat, Baroda. These are the, even Rajkot area. It's a common. Flooding is common wherever you stay. The flooding is common when you stay next to a sea or something. But it comes to when it comes to the Bangalore situation, whatever we have seen from last couple of days, it is something. It is nature's warning for us, for we Bangaloreans. We never thought the situations may happen like this. Second, you need to understand it is a shocking thing to even to note a flooding is happening in Bangalore since we stay at a elevation of 3,000 feet from the mean sea level. No major rivers flows inside the city. No river network. When there is no river network, from where this water is coming? So what is the source of this water? Is this rainfall alone? That's a question. Now, in this scenario, whatever happened this time, it was totally because of rainfall. First, I'll give the brief background of this Bangalore city's network, how it is, the valleys. First, you need to first before you get into conclude anything on the Bangalore city, you need to know the valley network, how the lakes are, how the drainage system, how the this interconnection of lakes has happened in Bangalore, how it most of the lakes which are there in the Bangalore are not natural lakes. The first learning. The second learning. All these lakes are man-made lakes. The first question may come into your mind. Why these
Yes.
man-made lakes? Is first you need to see the elevation of the city. Second, you need to see the major no major river flows inside the city for us to give us the water. So we need to depend upon this water which is coming through the rainfall. That's where you will find the major lakes in this Bangalore city. As per the official record, we had more than 1,000 lakes in Bangalore urban itself. 1,000 lakes. In coming days, I'll be giving you complete information on how these lake systems are connected. At this point of time, I'll just explain you the overview. Now, 1,000 plus lakes were there. With the recent this thing analysis and the recent list which what we have got now with the administration, we have got 837 lakes on record, and these lakes are active lakes. One is active lakes, one is non-active lakes. Any lake becomes non-active, it can be changed into the purpose of usage. That's what has been followed. Before we jump into the complete this thing, I'll tell you, Bangalore has got major 5 valley systems. The Hebbal area, once you see the area which is when you travel towards the new airport, this got Kempegowda airport, you'll see that Hebbal area. From the Hebbal and Nagavara, there is a valley. Is a valley sort of. Next valley is the Arkavati Valley. When you go towards the Nelamangala to this area, Mysore district, you will find Arkavati Valley system. Then comes to the Vishwabhavati Valley system. Then comes your Suvarnamukhi Valley system. Most importantly, Kormangla Chalagatta Valley system. This Kormangla Chalagatta Valley system is the most responsible valley system for all this flooding, whatever you people have seen, whatever you people have experienced. Now, how these things will get flooded? I told you we are at the elevation of 3,000 feet,
Correct.
somewhere around 900 plus meters of elevation. Say, if any lake is there at the 900 meters of elevation, it will receive the water from 900 plus meters elevation catchment area.
Right.
Simple, simple physics. Water has to flow down from the
Yes.
higher elevation to lower elevation. That's it. No rocket science involved here. Once the tank has got some capacity, XYZ capacity, say the tank may hold 1,000 crores liters. Bund is also designed to hold 1,000 liters of capacity of water. The moment it filled with 1,000 liters, 1,000 crore liters of water, the water needs to start flowing out of that lake. Depending upon the size of the lake, they may be having 1 wasteware, 2 wasteware, 3 wasteware, 4 wastewares. Normally, always you will find 2 wastewares. In some of the major lakes, some 700, 800 acres plus lakes, you will see 3 wastewares. Wasteware is the place where the excess water from the lake will flow into. That's why it is called as wasteware. We call it as OD in the Canada. What happens? Apart from the wasteware, there is something called as a sluice gate. Sluice gates are always at a lower elevation compared to the wasteware. Wasteware carries the excess water from the lake Sluice gate carries the amount of water which is there in the lake for the agriculture purpose or some other purpose which is designed for.
Hmm.
Even though the lake is not overflowing, if you open the sluice gate, your water will start flowing out of the lake. Wasteware got its own the route to carry the water or a channel to carry the water is called as Raja Kaluve,
Hmm.
storm water drain. Any
Hmm.
excess water, wasteware, storm water drain, it has to flow out to the next lake, to the next lake, to
Hmm.
the next river, to the next ocean. You just can't flow and stay in some XYZ place. No, it will never happen. At least not
Hmm.
in Bangalore system. That's why it is called as valleys.
Hmm.
Whatever the waterfalls on Ebbala, whatever the waterfalls on Nagavara has to come into that valley. From that valley, it has to fill the lakes. From the lakes, it has to flow. Wherever the rivers are flowing, these valleys or these Rajakaluves are nothing but
Hmm.
a small rivers in the rainy season. Whatever the inlet may be at around 900 meters. The lake whole waste where it may be around 898 meters, 2 meters down. Now,
Hmm.
whatever the water flowing at 898 meters will flow down. The next lakes, the receiving point will be 896 to 895.
Correct.
3 meters lesser than the waste wire of the discharging lake. The receiving lake
Yes.
needs to be at a lower elevation. Say, the first lake discharges a water of 100 mld.
Hmm.
So 100 mld, your 10 crore liters per day. You may be getting wondered, oh, how much water? Yes,
10 crore.
that water plus this water, whatever the rainfall, which is giving it to you.
Hmm.
Now, the moment it joins the second lake may be having a catchment inflow of 35 mld. Now, what is the outflow from the second lake? If it is filled, 135 mld.
Hmm.
Similar with 10 lake joins,
Correct.
catchment area, lake capacity,
Yes.
whatever the inflow is coming, it will become 400 to 500 mld
Hmm.
moving out. That's why these Rajakalaves or stormwater drains are designed as per the flow.
Hmm.
Because these drains, these lakes survive themselves for thousands of years.
Hmm.
When development is happening, we greedy people, without understanding the basics of this nature, we try to play around with the nature, we are paying a price for. Now,
Hmm.
what has happened at the place? Now we will get back into the Kormangla Chalagatta Valley.
Hmm.
What actually has happened? Why this spreading? Whatever water has to flow out from the Bellandur lake to the second lake, it has to reach at Vartur lake. The in between stormwater drains got choked
Hmm.
because of the construction approach, because of the construction, because of the other layouts, because of all these things. They try to reduce the width of the drain. The capacity of the drain needs to be around 300 mld plus. These people try to reduce it to 100 mld.
So, but
Never
you
mind.
say that it is a man-made issue, but the
Yes.
Chief Minister of Karnataka has been blaming the rainfall for it. And according to the
No.
data, according to the IMD data, it's 370 rainfall in the August itself, which is the second highest since 1998.
See, I'll tell you one thing. Sri Basavaraj Bommai ji, Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka, is a well-read person and he got an enormous amount of knowledge and he comes from the agricultural background too and he understands these lakes and the Rajakaluves better than anyone else. And second, we got a very knowledgeable minor irrigation minister, Sri JC Madhuswamy. They both knows. And second thing, what they wanted to tell, this rainfall was not never expected.
Hmm.
They were not expecting this sort of rainfall. They are
Hmm.
telling us saying that it is the highest rainfall in the 50 years, whatever it is. For any government, for anything, any agencies, whatever may be the nation, whatever may be the infrastructure you have got,
Hmm.
sometimes it fails.
Hmm.
Just example is the tsunami what we have seen. None were prepared for that. None
Hmm.
were prepared for that. You are faced because of that. Nature, you just can't predict nature. Nature is not your hand. You must understand what they wanted to do. Because of this rainfall, whatever the situation came, we will do, and we will try to prepare ourselves, and we try to face this sort of situations in the future. We all need to get together with this government or the government agencies or the people who are working the helms of affairs to do their job. Now, this encroachment has not happened in just one day. When I started my first encroachment eviction in Anekal Taluk from Muttanalluru Lake, now I give the brief background of the Muttanalluru Lake. Muttanalluru Lake receives water from more than 80 lakes. More than
80
80
lakes.
lakes. Bidruguppe, it flows into Bidruguppe Lake, and sometimes it carries around 500 mld of water. If you see if you see our pictures, how we have evicted the encroachment, how we have recreated a drain which was encroached 70 years back. No one was knowing that this drain was. And Muttanalluru Lake, Bidruguppe Lake. Bidruguppe Lake is another important lake which receives water from 101 lakes. That is the last lake in Anekal Taluk, which flows out into the Tamil Nadu. Then it goes into the dam. From the dam, Krishnagiri Dam, it flows into the ocean. Whatever water falls in Bangalore city, it has to be flow out to the ocean.
Right.
It may be your Ebala Nagavara Valley, it may be Arkavati Valley, it may be Rishabhavati Valley, it may be Suvarnamukhi Valley, it may be your Kormangala Chalagatta Valley. The water has to flow. That's why I was telling, Bangalore is at a higher elevation. Whatever water falls on Bangalore, you need to store it in the lakes. Otherwise, you will never get the water to survive compared to other places in the flow. Now, I'll come to the Chief Minister's state. These people were unaware about how it may happen. Now, this rain has showed us them the challenge. Now, the rain has thrown them a challenge. Now, the whole civic agencies realize the importance of Rajakaalaways, stormwater drains, or drains. Now, they're trying to clean. Public were so adamant, they wanted to tell. I heard this similar this thing when we are clearing the drain. People is to ask, is it any necessity for us to recreate the drain in such a wet, such a big drain is required? People used to challenge with me. That time I told them, you never know the nature. The water rainfall may be so much because all the drain data got recorded by the Britishers in 1923 to 1928 in Bangalore city. From 1893 in Mysore province. Same like in Mumbai. Most of the people who have done the survey in the Bangalore and all, they are from the Maharashtra surveyors. You see the documents of the Britishers, it is all, some of the land records are written in the Marathi. Meticulous job they have done. They have well documented the drain network. If I have to tell you the way these people have done their job, it is amazing. And every drain has got captured. Every small drain has got recorded in the revenue records. You don't need to go and do some R&D now. You just need to evict the drains which are there from the past. Now, third question we will get into. Why this flooding has happened? If you see the most of the cases, you just take the case by case. Now, let's take the rainbow drains case. The most affected, the most, this thing. That drain, what has happened? It sits below the Alnayakanahalli lake. One side, Junasandra lake. And this lake overflowed after some decades. Alnayakanahalli lake, the water started flowing towards the rainbow layout.
Correct.
Now, the drains which are there next to the rainbow layout, the drains which are there along with the rainbow layout, were not in that such a condition to carry the amount of water which is coming out from the this thing what Alnayakanahalli lake. Those who are seen on the ground, they will be able to understand and they will be agreeing with me why this flooding has happened. Third point over there, the road which is Sarjapur and Bangalore road, the SSR layout road, which is running in front of the Rainbow Drive layout, which is at the higher elevation compared to the Rainbow Drive layout. Rainbow Drive layout at a lesser this thing what elevation, and road is at a higher elevation. Whatever the water has to flow, it will flow inside the Rainbow Drive. Second, what has happened when the water was flowing from the Alnayakanahalli side towards the next lake, That water has to flow along the drive. Drains were not available.
Hmm.
Only there is a collapse of some wall they built to protect this from, and the water started entering inside the lake.
Hmm. Well,
Then only
sir, yes, with whatever information that you have provided us, now one question that everybody is asking is Bangalore holding more population than it can actually take in? The urbanization, the rapid urbanization that is happening in Bangalore, is it also a factor in this flooding?
urban population is increasing, urbanization is increasing. In 2000s, the population was around 50 lakhs.
Hmm.
Today, the population of Bangalore is almost all touching 1.5 crores. Bangalore city is not ready to hold such a population, whatever it is today. Every one apartment is equivalent to one village.
Hmm.
A very large apartment complex is equivalent to multiple one gram panchayat, 7 villages, 8 villages. These drains were created and catered in such a way. Every lake, in the lake catchment area, there is to be a one village.
Hmm.
That lake was designed for that village and the agriculture purpose of that particular area. Today, what you have done in one village catchment area, you came and made 15 villages, 20 villages by constructing your apartments, villa complexes, and whatnot,
Hmm. Hmm.
whatever fancy things you have done. Now, what has happened? Concretize the complete area. Whatever rainfall falls, it needs to be filtered into the ground level. It needs to go inside the ground. It needs to percolate. Until and it doesn't percolate into the ground,
Hmm.
complete water will start flowing on
Hmm.
surface.
On the
Once it
surface.
start, once it start flowing on the surface, you can imagine. I was giving an example of 300 mld. That flow will be 700 mld. Where the 700 mld will go?
Hmm.
Every lake has got capacity. Every lake bund has got capacity. Every lake wastewater has got capacity. If one lake breaks, if one wastewater breaks anywhere,
Hmm.
that lake may be holding thousands of crore liter of water.
Hmm.
It is as good as any dam breaking.
Hmm.
Now you can imagine the disaster what it may be.
Hmm. So, but then
You know,
concretization has also happened in Bombay. You see, the flood water in Bangalore remained there for almost 2 days. In Bombay, we have a system where even if it rains and even if it is flooded, it clears out in one day and the situation goes back to normal. I'm not saying the situation in Bombay is any better, but this kind of situation in Bangalore is sort of unprecedented. For 2 days, the water was not receding. What could be the reason behind that?
see, you need to understand any water which falls on the surface, either it has to be wet or it has to flow out.
Hmm.
You have to do something for it is to flow out. Now,
Hmm.
take Mumbai's case. Mumbai was in a similar situation of Bangalore. If
Hmm.
you see the
Yes.
in Mumbai, because of the planners, what erstwhile Britishers and all, they created a wonderful drainage network.
Hmm.
Mumbai has got a better drainage network compared to the Bangalore. Second, if you take the center of the Mumbai and the sea,
Hmm.
you need to calculate the distance. You are sitting next to the sea.
Yes.
So whatever the water comes, it will flow out into the east.
Hmm.
It is not in the case of Bangalore. We are at a higher elevation.
Hmm.
Our water has to move through the lake network.
Huh.
Our water has to move through the lake network and the stormwater drains. The main
Yes.
problem with our Bangalore is just the non-maintenance or encroachment and the non-desilting of the stormwater drains in Bangalore.
Hmm.
Unscientific construction
Hmm.
without giving a due consideration for the stormwater drain is the very cause for the whatever the problem we are seeing.
Hmm.
That's where
So
I'm telling.
that brings me to my next question. You said that only some places of Bangalore were flooded, some places were not. So what
Yes.
was the cause that those other areas managed it better during such a heavy rain?
See, there is three reasons for that. The one reason, wherever the flooding is happened, just take the topographic map of that area.
Hmm.
Take the history of that area. Either it has to be previously a lake area,
Hmm.
maybe a wetland,
Hmm.
maybe a stormwater drain. If you are not falling into all the three categories,
Hmm.
then it is very difficult for us to tell what actually has happened, because you will fall one of this category. Sometimes you may fall into the two of this category. Sometimes you may fall all the three of the category what I told you. Because in Bengaluru, we had 1,000 plus lakes. Today we have left with 837 plus lakes. Now
Hmm.
where all these lakes gone? What have done to those lakes? You filled those lakes and constructed something, right?
Hmm.
So answer lies there. You ask someone where they got flooded. See,
Hmm.
if one person closes that lake movement or the water movement channel at one place, the effect will be somewhere else,
Hmm.
not at the same place. It is like your blood vessels. What it was originally designed for your wash basin.
Right.
All depends upon your inflow and the obstructions in between. If you clear proper obstructions, if you
Hmm.
keep the flow manageable, if you keep the pipe size ideal to the
Hmm.
requirement, it will carry the water.
Hmm.
Normally, the wash basin's pipe and the tap water supply, if you see the ratio,
Hmm.
it is always 1:4. If your topside discharge is 1, the
Hmm.
water carrying capacity of that pipe which is there below is 4 times,
Four
sometimes
times.
6 times.
Hmm.
I understand this logic.
Yes.
This
No,
gives
I think
answer to all your
I think
questions.
yes, I think everybody needs to understand this basics. And Savit, thank you so much for making us understand this logic, because people keep questioning about the flooding, people keep blaming the rainfall also, but we need to understand while we are planning our cities.
Request to all the IT people and all the industries and corporates, please concentrate on spending money on clearing, maintaining, managing drains. If you don't develop lake, it can manage.
Hmm.
But you just can't go get away without clearing the stormwater drain. If you do that, you will see the result what is happening now.
Hmm.
First, you start giving your resources, join hands with government, get the surveys done, start clearing the stormwater drain. Bengaluru city alone, we got around 900 kilometers. Anekal Taluka, I recorded around 400 plus kilometers. The first time I said, after seeing my work, what I have done in last year, one of the corporate came ahead to support me with 30 plus million rupees.
Hmm.
The 300 plus million rupees they wanted to sponsor and get the project done. In initial stage, one of the corporate is sponsoring around 3 crore rupees for us to do the stormwater drain activity, and there is a pipeline plan for another 270 million rupees requirement to clear the drains in Anekal Taluk. Surely people will join with my movement in clearing stormwater drain. The moment you clear the stormwater drain, lakes will become active.
Hmm.
We don't require the fancy modification in lakes.
So, as my last remark, I would like to say this. I think this Bangalore floods also comes as a, although grim reminder, but is a lesson not only for the government but also for the people to manage their cities better. If we have to create, sustainable cities, this is one thing that we have to take care of. And I think, as you rightly pointed out, sir, thank you so much for pointing this out. That storm water drains and this entire system of lakes is what is holding Bangalore together, and that should be maintained better.
Available for your problem.
Hmm. Well, I think thank you so much, sir, for all this information. I think our viewers will also find it very interesting and educating at the same time, because and people from Bangalore who are watching this, as sir rightly said, one has to understand that maintaining and asking the government to clear the stormwater drains is also sort of your responsibility. And the business community in Bangalore, which has made it the Silicon Valley of India, should also come forward and help the government of Karnataka to sort out this issue and make the life of people in Bangalore better. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for all this
Thank you.
information.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank you.
great day.
Jai Hind, Jai
Thank
Bharat.
you.